Say how to make a stew. Now, normally we make it with beans, right? But I'm going to make it with sprouted mung beans. Sprouted mung beans, yes. These are nicely sprouted, and why do I prefer sprouted to normal mung beans? Is because when you sprout, the protein content is higher. Also, you know, we hear a lot of talk about phytic acid. When you soak the beans and sprout them, the phytic acid is a lot of it is gone. So to some olive oil, I add my onions. Now because I have, now if mung beans, you have to really boil it a long time, but when you have it with sprouts, it's very easy to steam it. That's why I grated the carrots, because otherwise the carrots and the potatoes may not cook, right? So I grated them and I cut the potatoes into small pieces.
And Kriti says, where do you live? Such a beautiful location. Tamil Nadu in the Nilgiris.
Yes, we live in the Nilgiris. Now I'll let my onions fry. After my onions, I will put in the carrots and the potatoes, right, Hannah?
Yeah, after this you add the carrots and the potatoes.
And the grated ginger.
And the grated ginger after it's fried a bit.
Okay. So you can put some garlic too, but in my tomato puree, I did add some garlic earlier, so I won't put any more garlic.
Tomato paste is after the vegetable.
Understood. Right, so I made some tomato paste from fresh tomatoes and some garlic, right? So these are just different ways I am actually learning how to use sprouts in my kitchen. Of course, we can eat sprouts just steamed and in a chaat or in salads, but we also want to blend it in our stews and and use it in different ways. So
what are the benefits of sprouting, Samana?
Benefits of sprouting, like I just said, when you sprout, the phytic acid, when you soak and you sprout, the phytic acid is reduced big time, right? Another thing is the protein content of the beans goes up about 25-30%.
And Asha said, where can I get the sprouting jar?
Good Asha, good question. Now the sprouting jar will be made available in the next 2 days on my website. Now this is just a pre-launch, so a very limited quantity will be available. So you have to be quick and get your jar, right? And later we will see, but on my stories, right? So the link is in my stories, and
Divya said, no, she lives in Kerala. No, we live in Ooty, not in Kerala. Near Ooty.
Near Ooty, right? So I will add my my grated carrots, and Lisa actually grated these carrots for me, right? So she helped today in the kitchen.
Which oil are you using, Kuldeepa?
I'm using olive oil for this, but you can use cold pressed oils. You can use oils that except for refined oils, I would not suggest.
China said sprouted mung is a traditional Gujarati dish. Love it.
Yeah. Now, if you make a stew out of it, sprouted mung stew. Now, normally in the stew we add carrots and potatoes. That's why I have carrots and potatoes, and I'll let it cook for a little while, because remember, when the beans are sprouted, it takes time for it to cook. In fact, you can also eat it raw. It's really
it grew so big.
Smells fresh. Now tell me, Hannah, I mean, you have to be honest, Hannah. You used to say that sprouts, you and Lisa used to say
that it tastes like metal.
Now you tell me if these sprouts taste like metal. Taste a few more.
It tastes natural.
Taste a few more and be honest with me and the crowd. Are you sure?
I promise you. Come on, see, sprouts isn't tasty, but it's healthy. But this is definitely tastier compared. Even when you go to hotels, they don't have sprouts like this.
Yes.
So, and that's what is that, Mama? Alfalfa?
Yes, that's alfalfa seed sprout.
Okay.
Right.
And sprouts have a certain distinct foul smell which can spoil the flavor of the dish. How do you get rid of it? Any tips?
Well, not at all.
There is no foul smell. It smells like.
So in this the beauty is, of course, if you make it in a cloth and it's unhygienic. But when you make it in a bottle, the Sprout Me bottle, right?
Now you don't end up touching the seeds. You just have to drain.
Yes, right? And you can rinse it 2-3 times. The problem is right? You rinse it, and the way you get all the water out is you have a stand. The lid has a stand, and that's...
Kirti said, will eating sprouts daily give gas problems? Well, we have been eating it daily and we don't have gas problems.
So normally, you get gas when you have not rinsed it thoroughly, you have not steamed it, you have not made the sprouts correctly.
Okay,
right?
this is a funny question. If sprouts are not so good for you, if sprouts are so good for you, why do people not like the taste? But nobody likes the taste of vegetables, come on.
Yeah, no, but these sprouts, Lisa will give you an honest opinion. She's always honest, right? But these sprouts, they don't taste foul or metallic or, So it's easier for children to eat it, when you put it in a dish like this, in a stew. So I'll teach you how to put it, you can put masalas as well. So I have haldi, garam masala. No, what is this, Anna?
This is jeera.
Jeera, sorry. Haldi, jeera, curry powder, and some chili flakes.
I want to purchase these jars, Nita said.
In my stories, you will get a link tomorrow, right? And yes.
And Faru said, please let us know the correct method to make sprouts.
Yes. Now another thing is, when you get this jar, this sprout jar, we will also equip you with an ecosystem where you learn how to sprout, you learn how to make the curries and all that, right? You will get recipes, and so you will get a whole support system how to not only make the different sprouts but also to cook them, right?
And Dimpy said, can we eat sprouts as it is, like without cooking?
Yes, you
can.
Now can I, now this, right? All the masalas and the ginger.
Yeah.
Right? So
you can grate the ginger, Mama.
Yeah, put all the masalas in it. And
I want that. In which website to buy?
Yes, so it's coming on my website, right? It's coming.
And Yamra said, can we give sprouts to toddlers? Yeah,
of course
we
you
were
can.
given sprouts.
You can make sprout chilas. I cannot find my grater.
I used it for jaggery. It's in here.
So you want to grate the ginger, right? Thank you, Hannah. And seeds take some time. Now these seeds, I love these alfalfa seeds because when they sprout, you can just eat them. Now,
those are my favorite from all.
Now one thing is, the reason you want to make it hygienically, otherwise there's a lot of bacteria growing as well.
also said, you said that this is going to be a pre-launch. What if I miss placing order for sprout jar?
Yeah, so you may have to wait. So this is a pre-launch and we have limited quantity. So the ones who really want it urgently should get it quickly, right? And Shweta, if you miss it, then you'll have to probably wait, or I cannot give you a good answer to that. But try and, if you can, get it right away. But if you miss the pre-launch, I'm sure we can.
Will you ship the jars internationally?
No. That's very difficult for us to do, right? So it will be all.
Then come to India and get it.
We will within India, right? So I grated the ginger. Now I'm going to add the tomato.
No, the broth.
The broth and then the tomato
broth,
curry?
Tomato, moong.
Okay, so here I've made
vegetable
broth, right? And you can make vegetable broth with just boiling vegetables and just keeping the water and things like that. So I'll put 2 cups. This is a stew, so I put a lot of water, right? And so wow, this already looks good. And now put how much tomato puree, honey?
1 can, the recipe says. I think that's about 1 cup.
Okay.
We put the garlic in.
Yeah, so I'll put this tomato paste in it, correct, Hannah?
Yeah.
Right, and then let it cook. Now this is a stew, so it's not a curry, right? So you might be thinking, why did I not put the tomatoes first and fry it? So, but we're just following a recipe, right? You see, whatever I'm doing here, it's very little is original. Okay, this is original.
Reet Patel, please
this is original.
DM my mother.
Right? This is original, but everything else, recipes, I look at other people and how they have made things. Now this recipe, when I read it, he used akamu. And instead of akamu, I'm trying it with sprouts. That's the difference, right? So
Yeah. You should try misal pav. Well, this is like misal pav. We're going to have, I think, bread with this.
They're going to have pav with this, correct? Who guessed, huh? I was going to
Nita.
ask you how do you think are we going to eat this, right? So we're going to have it with bread because Hannah and Lisa have a friend who bakes yummy bread.
What about salt? Ashwini asked.
Yes, salt.
We
salt.
already put vegetable broth.
So now
we
should I
have to
put
see.
some? Yeah, I have to.
Let it, Mama. Let the tomatoes cook. Otherwise, we don't want to taste it when it's raw.
And then also we have to put the sprouts.
Pepper.
Later, is it? Salt and pepper. Salt we put. Be careful. Yes.
Only pepper.
I used a vegetable bouillon for the vegetable stock. So that has a little bit of salt. So be careful when you use that, and you know how much salt you're going to add on top of that, right?
Yogita says, "Ma'am, I want the jar."
Yes, Yogita. I know you've been asking me for a long time. You know, tomorrow there'll be a link in my stories, right? And you can get it from there tomorrow, right? So I'll just wait for that to come to a boil. You can eat it with rice, with rotis. You know, I'm going to just, in the next few weeks, going to try.
Camila, what time? Vandana asked.
The sprouts will be ready.
No, the jar.
Will be available maybe 12 noon, 12 noon I think, right? So just watch out for my stories tomorrow, very exciting.
Jasleen said, I also want.
Yes, so watch out for the link in my stories, and definitely the pre-launch, you know, you want to get your bottle first hand, and I'm not so sure, but I think the pre-launch you always get a good discount as well. There's always a risk later the prices go up, right? So trying to create an urgency for you to get the jar because I love these jars.
Do not buy pre-ground pepper from the market. No, we ground this ourselves.
Yes.
We bought the full thing.
Yes,
a lot of times it's adulterated.
Yes,
Yeah.
I grind all my masalas at home.
Wait,
That's
I
it.
saw.
I buy
Sneha
them.
says, Ma'am, my 10-year-old boy always asks me questions why your daughter, when your daughter goes for school.
Really? Wow.
We study at home.
Yeah, homeschooled, right? So tell your son that it's a different way of schooling. I mean, I'm sure he thinks
He's probably jealous, no? Because 10-year-olds don't like. When I was 10, I didn't like to go to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right, Hannah. The tomato has to cook, right? So I'll let the tomatoes cook, and it's almost done now. Because after the tomatoes cook, this takes very little time. You know, this is so crunchy, and so look at it. I can literally break it in my hands, right? And these sprouts have happened in 2 days, and no smell, no foul taste, nothing. I love this because it has, you know, about 132 holes, I think, for ventilation. So it's very scientifically designed. I mean, I've used it for 2 full years to understand how to do this. So really,
132, Mama.
yes, holes, right? And the beauty is, you know, the lid becomes a stand like this, see? So you soak it overnight, and all the instructions will be given on the box as well. And then you just do this, and you drain it. And the other thing that's the most beautiful thing about this is you can do this even in something else, like the cloth, say, right? You put it in the cloth and it drains, but you cannot re-rinse it. You cannot re-rinse it. Here you can re-rinse it twice or thrice. That's how you have these sprouts free of smell or foul or slime or even any bacteria, because it's rinsed in clean water at least 3 or 4 times.
There's a couple of questions here.
Yes, yes.
Ayushman said the jar is actually genius. And Jasmita said, one question, does the traditional method of tying in a cotton cloth bag?
It's just tedious. It's tedious, and also there's a smell sometimes, and a lot of times the traditional, like I've interviewed a lot of homemakers who actually do this. Now they said that they do it in the traditional cloth, but all these stems break when you try to pull it out. They break in the traditional cloth. The cloth gets messy. You cannot re-rinse. You cannot re-rinse. Now you'll say, I don't need to re-rinse because I cook it. Sure, this you can cook and take away all the bacteria. But if you're eating seeds like broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, methi sprouts. You cannot cook them, right? Or you don't want to. You want to eat them fresh and crunchy, right? So the other day I made pizza on a bread, and then I put some broccoli sprouts on that, right? And I didn't have any other vegetable at home. That became the vegetable or the salad part of it, right, Hannah? Wasn't it tasty?
Hi Pramila, this is Monica. I really need to speak to you personally. I've been suffering from health issues since 3 months. My body is unable to take medication continuously. I don't know whom to consult. Please help me.
Monica, DM me, and my team will connect with you and set up an appointment.
Vidya said whenever I sprout in cloth, it gets fungus next day or two.
Yes, thank
I
you,
hope
Vidya.
this jar fixes it.
Thank you, Vidya. This jar will 100% fix it. This has been sprouting for the past 2 days. No fungus, no smell. See if I take it out like this. Look at how beautiful.
How was the lasagna yesterday? It was heavenly.
Look at the sprouts.
So
how beautiful. They are crunchy. They are big.
Vandana
right?
said, are these jars designed by you?
Yes, right. Redesigned rather, right? So, these jars are being made available by me. Now, I know I've been struggling to sprout. When I was in Mumbai, I used to buy sprouts from the supermarket, and I was always conscious of not eating it raw because of the hygiene standards. I'm not sure, right? But after I've started using the jar, I can be, even now there's no smell.
No smell. No smell
No
at
smell
all.
because
Mama, you can put the
it
sprouts
can
in.
be rinsed now. Shall I
Yeah.
put the sprouts? So now I'm going to add the sprouts to my look at that, right? And I just need a few minutes for it to boil. I don't need to keep it for too long, because it cooks really fast.
And Susanna said, if you want to store it for 2 or 3 days, do we have to keep the jar in the fridge or we can keep it out?
No, you can put it in airtight. So what I do is sometimes if the sprouts are too much, I put it in an airtight container, put it in the fridge and sprout something else in the jar, right? Because I always need my jar.
The only way it will actually fungus is if you don't clean it properly.
Yes.
But then if you put hot water in it, it's going to crack.
Yeah.
So,
Though, you can clean it with just, clean it well. And what I do is I clean it and I keep it on the windowsill just to get some sunlight. And, sunlight will really take away anything that's...
a random question.
So look at this.
Isn't it scary at your house during the night time? It's so eerie. I get scared to get water because my room is all the way there.
No, it's not scary at all.
It's so dark, Mama, and nobody is on this side.
It's not
And
scary.
there's so many entries.
Look at
So
that.
wild animals can...
Who thinks this stew is awesome, huh? Look at that stew. I'm excited about it. This is the first time I made sprouted stew. The reason I'm picking on these sprouts is because some of these beans, they don't, they don't soak and they don't sprout. It has nothing to do with the sprouting jar. It's just the beans. Anyone has this problem? Right? Some beans don't
Yeah,
sprout.
some beans, and it's very hard.
It's hard,
right?
and then sometimes you could break your tooth on it. Right? So it remains like that.
What is the capacity of the jars? 700 ml.
700 ml, yes. Right? Get two, of course. Right? The other day I wanted to make a mixed sprout curry. So I had kala chana in this and hara chana in this. And that's why I get two, because it's very handy. Right? And it's beautiful. Now, you might say, oh, it's a glass jar, it will break. The good news is it's a standard glass jar. So once you get this, you don't really need to buy, even if you break this, because you can just put this on.
Where to buy the jars from?
On my stories. Tomorrow you'll get a link on my stories. Now this is a pre-launch, okay? So hurry up and get your 12 noon, I think, tomorrow it will be launched, right? Now look at this. Who likes this? It's a...
Is it tasty? Salt?
delicious.
Salt?
Really delicious.
Salt?
A bit spicy for Lisa, but good.
What did we put? Oh yeah, curry powder.
Curry powder. I'll put a little bit of salt because that was not enough. Right? And now it's cooked, so I won't cook it anymore because I want the sprouts to be whole like that. See the sprouts, see? So you don't want to break them up, you don't want to, just...
Of course it's not scary there because when wild bees smell food, they become tame and friendly. Mama, is that true? Or do they become ferocious because they want to eat the
no,
food?
we have a good fence around our thing, and there are no wild beasts here. So, we have good help that close the gates, and so we don't, nothing to fear.
You don't get bored of eating sprouts daily? Well, it's not
have it in
daily.
different forms. Have it in different
And
forms.
we as me and Lisa have just accepted now that the jars have come, we're going to have it for the next 10 years.
No, but it's
At least
really,
isn't
I
it?
mean, I've heard testimonials of people who have reversed their gut issues, who have reversed a lot of health issues by eating sprouts on a daily basis. Now, of course, you probably cannot eat it like this, but the way you can eat it is add to your salads, add to, different things. You can just add it to.
Jasmeeta asked, do you have wild boars, monkeys or cheetahs around? Yes, we do.
Sometimes.
We've seen quite a few wild boars below our hill, and monkeys, yeah, and not cheetahs but leopards and black
Now
panthers.
my stew is ready, right? And you can have it with rice, and you can have it with bread. That's what we're going to have it with bread today. And you can have it with roti, right? It's just a way to incorporate sprouts in your daily routine. So with that, I'll say goodbye to you.
Bye.
Shall I finish this?